Hey guys, welcome back. It's Redox. Thanks again for joining me here with another video. It's been a while since I made a CNC Rivals video, so I'm glad to be back. And I'm going to show you guys my Colonel Jackson Air Army. I bring 3 helipad units, the drone, the Orca, and the Hammerhead. And ideally, of course, you want to start with drones because drones are kind of like your riflemen in this build, of course. And I bring 1 Pitbull, a light vehicle unit that is very mobile, can deal with ground and air units efficiently, while also bringing in jump jet troopers and shockwaves to support my air army. And this composition works pretty well right now because there is still a lot of War Factory users, a lot of infantry builds as well. So the Orca Bomber being buffed, you know, taking out things like attack bikes easily, pit bulls easily, tanks easily, even harvesters. They're very good at killing harvesters, stuff like that. The Orca Bomber definitely is a lot better than before because it can just kill War Factory units a lot faster than it used to. So this build is working out quite well, including the drones. They got a little bit of a speed buff as well, so drones move a bit faster on the map now. And they do relatively well against infantry units. Unlike the War Dog, even though they're not as tanky, they do quite a bit of damage. So what I do is, get my drones, team up with my Shockwave to deal with his Shockwave, and definitely the drones are helping me out in killing his infantry units here. I send 1 Orca Bomber to see if I can kill the Harvester. He gets a nice dedicated Iron Cannon here, killing all 3 of my units. I almost do end up losing this missile here, but I quickly send out 2 drones to capture it, and I kill a Harvester as well. And Orcas are just a great way to kill enemy vehicle units and Harvesters as well. Orcas are just overall a great anti-vehicle unit. That's really what they're meant to do. My opponent goes for a Zone Trooper, which was his only Tech Lab unit, and Zone Troopers are very good against my air units. But what I do is I build a ton of Shockwaves because Shockwaves are a great support, of course, for the Zone Troopers. And I'm expecting to see more Zone Troopers, more Shockwaves, more Missile Squads, because that's kind of what I've been mainly seeing from his side. You can see he didn't even build a War Factory this game because, look, he only has a War Dog and an MLRS. He has a 2nd Iron Cannon off here, killing 2 units this time. This guy actually knows how to land his Iron Cannons, which I was very impressed about for sure. And this time, it's just going to be a full-on infantry battle here because I'm not going to build air units when he's got scary Zone Troopers on the map. And I tried to beat this guy as best as I can with Shockwaves and drones to deal with his Shockwaves. He finally goes for 1 War Dog here, and I'm going to switch into Pit Bulls and Jump Jets, seeing he may have some more vehicle units, so he goes for another Iron Cannon, 3 Iron Cannons. This time, that was another beautiful Iron Cannon. Like I said, this guy knows how to land those Iron Cannons. This man has been practicing them cannons. He almost gets the 2nd missile here, but I'm just a little bit too quick on him. I quickly build 3 units, and that is the beauty about this air army, is that all the units are very mobile and very fast. I don't bring any slow heavy units, and that's what makes this helipad army so good. Alright, this will be the 2nd game. This time it's going to be against a Nod opponent. He's bringing in Commander Cain, and once again, a lot of the Nod players also do, like the GDI players, go for the high tech lab, high Temple of Nod build, and he has Commander Cain, which is similar to General Solomon, so I've got to be careful. So what I do, of course, go into helipad again, scout him out with my drones because that's what I want to do. And you can see this man has 3 Temple of Nod units. He has even more units than the other guy. He only brought Zone Troopers. This guy has a Widowmaker, he's got a Rockworm, he's got a Cyborg. 2 of those units are very deadly against my air infantry army combination. Not the Rockworm, of course, but you can see he tried to rush me with some bikes here. My Orca Bomber takes care of some of his vehicle units here, and he looks like he's in a very good position in taking out my Harvester here, but my Missile Squad just in time fires away the missiles fast. I block his laser squads with 2 drones. And like I said, drones do quite a bit of damage to infantry units over time. I do save my Harvester here, but he tries to run me by with an attack bike here. He stops his rush as I build this wall of missile squads. I really don't want him to get this early crystal advantage. I let him have the missile, which kind of really sucked, especially him having 3 Temple of Nod units. But you know, if I let him kill my Harvester this early on, you know, that's a free Temple of Nod for him, because of course he gets free crystals. He tries to send some units through here, trying to clear out my missile squads. I build a ton of drones. I build pit bulls, I build missile squads to take care of those attack bikes, and I try to kill his flame squads with my drones. But anyways, I got to transition into shockwaves as I see a whole bunch of laser squads, and I get a chance to break open and see if he's got a double Harvey or anything like that. He's only got 1 Harvester, so I'm like, okay, that's alright. I just distract him on the top of my pit bull, and then his flame squad in the middle, it's gonna die to my flame squad and my missile squad here. And I really need to capture the second missile at this point, because of course I'm gonna lose the game if my opponent gets the second missile. I really can't have him do that. So right now it's kind of like a bit of a stalemate. I see a first Widowmaker come out. I go for some Orca Bombers, and Orca Bombers, while they will 2-shot a Widowmaker, even when I boosted that Orca Bomber with the Colonel Jackson speed up ability, it just couldn't reload fast enough, so the Orca Bomber died to the Widowmaker, because Widowmakers attack really fast. They'll beat Orca Bombers easily one-on-one if the Orcas are not reloaded on time. I quickly moved some air drone units. His flame squad can't attack my drone. I had all 3 units on the launch pad securing that missile. I almost lost that missile there, but I got there just in time. I built more Orcas to deal with his attack bikes. Orcas are amazing at killing squad vehicle units now, you know, like the War Dogs, and you know, attack bikes and things like that, because of course, like I was talking about earlier, they got the 4 rocket pods now. His Cyborg tries to run by through. He gets my Harvester there at the end, so he does get a 300 crystal boost there, but I kill it with my Shockwave boosted by Colonel Jackson. He goes for another Cyborg, which is a good choice. But he goes for a Rockworm, which he made a mistake here. He should have put that Rockworm in the middle of the bottom launch pad, because I've got 3 units on the launch pad and he's got none. He didn't get his Cyborgs on time, and instead he went for my Harvester with his Rockworm, which was a poor judgment. He still had a shot in this game, but I ended up taking that win there, guys, and we'll move on to that third game. Alright, this will be a third game. Once again, another Commander Cain player. And he's got some unknown enemy units, so you know, I'm expecting things like the Basilisk, because it's something I don't have on this account yet. And indeed, this man also has 3 Temple of Nod units, Basilisk, and he has a Confessor this time instead of a Rockworm. And things like the Confessor, Wolverine, Widowmakers, they're very potent, very dangerous against armies like mine that only really field infantry and helipad units. Of course, Widowmakers, Confessors, you know, Wolverines, they are very good at dealing with infantry and air units. But anyways, I'm gonna go for drones here early on, see what he's got. You know, I'm suspecting double Harvesters again. You know, it's another Cain player. I'm not seeing a second Harvester necessarily. He gets a buggy out, so what I do is I send my Orca Bomber down, and he looked like he positioned his Harvesters in a way where I couldn't see it unless I traveled down. Orcas are amazing at killing Harvesters, and his buggies just can't kill my Orca Bombers in time. And I realized, hey, this guy's just a War Factory player, so I go for a ton of Orca Bombers, because, you know, why not? It's gonna work. So even though if he builds attack bikes to counter my Orca Bombers, which is what most War Factory players will have, he didn't have it in this case. He only had Scorpion tanks, and he had Giga Cannons. So I'm like, okay, this is like a really easy game for me, because he's not building attack bikes. I thought he was just scared about building attack bikes, but he didn't have it anyways. Even if he built attack bikes, they would get one-shotted by my Orca Bombers. And so you can see how dangerous Orca Bombers can be if you don't bring in the right support. A lot of these War Factory builds don't use infantry units. Sometimes they do, but even if they do, they usually just bring like a flame squad, not things like the missile squad. He gets his first Confessor up though. He has enough crystals. He gets his first Confessor up, but I'm trying to stop his economy as best as I can, because, you know, when you see a guy with double Harvesters and a Confessor up right now, you know he's trying to go for some scary Temple of Nod units, and I gotta stop that as best as I can. So I just keep rotating my Orca Bombers around, and I build my second missile. I'm like, hey, you know what? All I gotta do is capture the second missile, I win. This game is in the bag. He builds a ton of Confessors here. I get a little bit lazy, and I thought I had the missile here, but I'm like, uh-oh. what just happened? His Confessors actually end up killing my Orca Bombers, obviously, because Orca Bombers don't do squat against Confessors. And one Shockwave cannot kill a Confessor. Confessors are very, very good at killing infantry units. You need to use 2 Shockwaves minimum and target fire 1 Confessor to take it down. And that's what I started doing. I realized, hey, I'm in a bit of a troubled spot. He actually got that second missile, and these Confessors are becoming a problem. So what I do is start ganging up on it. So this time I use 3 Shockwaves to take out that 1 Confessor, 2 Confessors down, and I send out 1 jump jet around to deal with the Harvesters. Once again, I decided to drop the Orca Bombers because I thought the Orca Bombers were just not mobile enough. And I eventually take out all his Confessors with my Shockwave spam. He goes for 1 Basilisk at this point, and Basilisks are good against Shockwaves, of course, because Shockwaves can't attack air. In the meantime, my Jump Jet is killing as many Harvesters as I can because that still helps in taking out his economy. Here comes out my premium anti-air Hammerhead, dealing with that Basilisk, because Hammerheads, that's what it's supposed to do. That's why I don't bring Talons, because, you know, Talons will lose against Banshees and stuff like that. So, you know, Hammerheads, they're going to take out any aircraft units pretty much in the game as long as your opponent doesn't have higher level Hammerheads. Anyways, I'm doing my best here as I can with my jump just to take out every single Harvester possible, preventing him from farming. I build a ton of pit bulls because one thing Confessors are not good against is dealing with vehicle units. So these pit bulls will actually outlast these Confessors. He switches into Confessors. But at this point, Confessors also being an average moving unit, they're not fast enough, so I tile block him with my faster pit bulls, and he just doesn't get his units there on time. So I did a very good job overall in this game, but you can see if you slack a little bit, which is what I did, I slacked a little bit because I thought I pretty much won the game with my Orca Bombers in the beginning. He almost turned his game around. So always focus in the game, because had I not played harder, you know, had I lost all focus and concentration at the end there, this game would have been a wrap. I'd have lost and it would have been over. So this was actually definitely a harder game than I thought it was going to be. I hope you guys enjoyed this army composition. You guys should try it. It's pretty good. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.